Well, hello there. This is Virtuals, a chess noob, learning and having fun with chess. Today I'm going to show you a tournament game where in the sort of late middle game, towards the end game, I traded my rooks for the opponent's queen. And it sort of demonstrates a principle how the queen is often better than having a rook pair, and it creates a very interesting unequal dynamic in the game. Now let's go take a look. Now in this game I had the black pieces and I played the Englund Gambit. I'm going to go through the opening reasonably quickly. So white started with queen's pawn opening, Englund Gambit e5, accepted, and I really liked Englund Gambit because after knight to c6 they defend, queen. Here my opponent decided not to play into the trap lines. And with that move, basically we now captures, and I'm completely happy because white is completely out of queen's pawn opening type lines. The evaluation here is 0, 0, 0, so we've reached equality, and basically we play without theory, and it's often quite good for black to not play into the queen's pawn openings. So here, sensible lookings of openings here, and here in this position I try to force a concession by white, making them have to play one of these moves, and they move the wrong pawn, and this permanently weakens some of the defenses around their king. So that's good for me. They should have played this move, which of course wins them a little bit of tempo. I now slide my bishop to h3, attacking the rook, and potentially I was hoping there was some sort of attack I could launch on the king. Now, white actually plays pretty well from this position onwards, and I never quite get an attack. Now, this was a mistake. I really needed to get my king out of the center here because white potentially has quite a credible attack in the center with my flank attack. So here you can see they try to play this move, but it's actually a mistake. That e4 is actually the best move. And basically the reason for that is after this move, you can see that's a very good move for white. It's because it opens up this diagonal. So let's say I take here, it doesn't quite work because it's defended three ways. So let's say I try to counterattack by pushing that pawn. Well, now the bishop attacks, and it's a real problem because if I've sort of moved the queen out of the way, that pawn can then, so let's say I move the queen over here, this pawn can now potentially move forward, this bishop of course can take, and basically white wins a piece. So this was a mistake. I needed to get my king out of the center to avoid that move. Lucky for me, white didn't see it. You can see they played that instead. I moved my queen out of the way and they tried to bring their queen. Here, again, moving my king out of the center earlier was better. I tried to attack the queen. There's no real attack there. I decided to trade. They bring things back. Things are quite strong, quite tidy. I bring a bishop back, potentially maybe trying to crack open. They take, I take back. Here, I couldn't quite commit myself to taking with the queen, but that apparently was the best move. Basically, we're still 0, 0, 0. They now push. I now long castles, bring my rook here. They sort of try to push a flank pawn. That's a mistake. And my idea here was to try to double up my rooks on the h-file. There we go, doubled up. They try to bring their bishop with an attack. That makes sense. And here, I make a mistake. You can see Stockfish says to not play that move. So I was thinking tripling up and maybe I've got a checkmate attack, but it's too easy to defend. White can simply have two defenders on h2. And what I should have done is to immediately force a trade of my rooks for the queen. I thought about it, but I, again, got cold feet, opted not to do so. So here, as I said, it doesn't work because they've now got three defenders. I try to, form an attack. I bring the queen out. I realize that wasn't going to work. And here, I decide to pull the pin. Rook captures h2. They have to take because otherwise this is potentially extraordinarily strong, potentially even a mating attack. So captures, 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 and now we move into a very unequal game towards the end of the middle game and the end game. Basically, I've traded my 2 rooks for their queen, so they have the rook pair, I have the queen, and look at the rest of this game. Now we get rid of the rest of the pieces, so takes, queen here, infiltrating, and the thing with the queen is that it's just a lot more mobile. So here you can see notionally we have material equality and the evaluation is basically equal. However, it's just easier to play as a human with the queen than trying to coordinate the 2 rooks, particularly when there's still a lot of pawns on the board. The rooks, their chariots, they basically get hemmed in, blocked by pawns, while the queen slides through diagonals, infiltrates easily. It's easier to play with the queen, and we'll see it in this endgame. So here they double up, makes a lot of sense, potentially attack on my king. Here, I don't play the most accurate move. I play queen to c1, infiltrating, but you can see it's basically back to equality. That was a better move because it allows my queen to have access to the c3 square. But my mistakes, you'll notice with the queen, don't give a very strong advantage to the opponent. Now, the king now moves to the wrong square. And it's the wrong square because I now have this move. They should have moved the king over here, which basically then covers the h1 square. They give a check, forward, check. Yep, you can see it's a mistake, but look at that massive advantage towards black. That almost makes some sense. Like, I think I would have played it. Looks like there's a nice fork there, but it's a mistake. And mistakes with the rooks are much more impactful on the game. So here, king here, no more checks. They try to hem in my king. You can see a mistake, almost -4 now. King with check. I'm winning one of these pieces because back, take. They move again, give a check again. They try to move again, check. They move, and here I didn't really like the king looking like it's trapped there, so I decide to capture. Inaccuracy, but I'm still ahead. And this is the thing, it's just easier to play with the queen. That makes sense, there's double up, the only strategy they have, but white is just not fast enough. Check. The king moves to the wrong space. And here I decide to give that check, and that is basically a gambit. You can see it's an inaccuracy, it's a mistake according to Stockfish, but I'm still slightly ahead. The king has to find that move and not capture, but they captured. Blunder, -5, because now queen, here, check. They try to block, doesn't work. Check. King forced here, captures, check. King forced back here, check. And back here, and now check. Move, check, and in this position, white is almost lost. White has only 2 legal moves. They can either move here or here, I think. And, it looks like if they move here, then I have a fork. So let's say they move here. Looks like I've got a fork and they lose the rook. So they decide to move that square instead, but that's actually even worse because now queen to b4, mate. Middle of the board. Good game, GG. The big takeaway from this game is to not be afraid to trade both your rooks for the opponent's queen. It is often a very winning tactic in the endgame because it's easier to play with the queen. I hope you enjoyed this video and thanks for watching.